Alright, welcome back. Let me turn that down. It's kind of copyright violation for Metallica. The best band. One of my favorite bands. Have yet to see them in concert. Hopefully, someday I can see them. I could have seen them back around the summer, but I just came off of the trip to New York like I mentioned before. And my buddy, Jace, his manager is actually the manager for Metallica as well. So I'll see them someday, hopefully. Didn't know that until this summer, but another fun factoid about my buddy Jace. Okay, so I'm gonna, let me get the camera. So, just to kind of show you guys, the rear of the model is, servo-wise, is done. So there you go. The servos are in for the thrust vectoring, and after kind of messing around with them, I really feel the 400 or the higher torque servos is the way to go, because they're just, it's just, you're almost reverse mechanical. You are reverse mechanical advantage. I probably need to get a smaller servo arm now that I look at it. That might help. I think I'm going to do that. I might put a smaller servo arm to lower, to get further down on the servo arm, because those things in that position it's fine, but to get it moving up is a little bit of a, takes a little bit of force, but once it's past a certain point it gets easier, and the same for going the opposite direction. Pulling is no problem, it's the pushing up, and that's what you're mainly doing, because you pull back on the stick to get the nose up, and those things are going to push up to help rotate it. So they're both in now. So all the servos are in. I just wanted to show you. I'm going to turn the radio down. It's still a little loud. So I'm going to put this back up here. A little music, little turbo action tonight. Alright, so let me move this out of the way. Little Static X action, if anybody's a fan of those guys. It's a shame original singer is no longer around. They still keep it on. So let me turn this down. Alright, that's pretty good. The camera is just off a little bit. There we go. Alright, so grab one of these here. So I am going with, I had X120s in the last one. Doing the X132 on this one. Same size motor, exactly the same size motor. In fact, it was the same motor. They just put some new components on it and made it more powerful, more efficient, with less RPMs. Well, yeah. So much better thrust to weight ratio, because it's still the same size and weight as a 120. So let's see what we got here. I open these all the time because I have to record serial numbers for warranty purposes for the customers. Yeah, let me point this down. I almost need something on my hat. You know, get something on my hat. Like a hat camera, that'd be awesome, which I know they have. Alright, so let me point it down here. Bear with me. I'm doing all this solo. Alright, so here's what you get. So this here, you got decals, which, you know, it's all cool and all. But a lot of times I'll get these motorbikes and people don't even touch this stuff. Especially, take this out here. the manual. I don't think people realize that that's a thumb drive, a USB drive with the manuals on it. Because I'll get the motors back and they're still in the box, untouched. And you wouldn't believe the questions I get asked, which are all right here. Like, some things that it's like, hey man, refer to the manual, you know. And if the manuals are online, if you don't want to full, because hell, funny thing is yeah, it's cool that Zyquoid does this, you know, but you can't even, most computers now don't even have USB on them. So you're almost better to just put a QR code card in here and have the manuals online. So what you get in the box. So you got your motor. Let me zoom in here, see if I can zoom in, help with this. There we go. Oh, there we go. So you're kind of getting to see what's in the box. Back out just a little bit. All right, so motor, pump. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the filter. It's the little Festo ones. Pump over here. So there's your pump. It's the same pump as the 180 or 195. It has a 6 millimeter and 4 millimeter out. 6 millimeter in, 4 millimeter out. The 204 has 4 millimeter in, 4 millimeter out. And then the X45 and X60 use the same pump, and they're both 4 millimeters. I have no idea what the 240 is going to be. I'm hoping it's this one. You're packed with your lead, your battery connection, and fuel tubing. It both comes with 6 millimeter and 4 millimeter. You get a hub, and this one is the compact hub with lead. So this is your GSU essentially, and it's a connection point for everything else. Your throttle, telemetry if you want to run, you can plug telemetry in here. You can still plug the smart data terminal into here as well. Your pump plugs into here, your battery plugs into here, and your throttle lead and your turbine lead plugs into this. I use a compact on the twin setup just because it's a pain in the butt to have two GCUs to plug in and work with when I can just leave this in here. I mean, you could do the same thing with a light one. You could, but I don't typically like to leave like the external GCUs in the model. You know, if you want to do that and put a smart data terminal in there and leave it in there to get the playback feature, by all means. It's just, there's plenty of options, but you know, if you're going to run, you know, telemetry, and that's something I'm going to try with this model. If I can get the telemetry working, and I know it can do it because I've got guys that have 6 X45s in a project, and they have telemetry adapters for all 6, which is crazy, man. I don't know what radio you can actually get 6 different motors and telemetry in one rodeo, but who knows. So I may just go back to a hub, like the light hub, which is smaller, and run a telemetry adapter. That way I can just monitor starts and everything. But the only problem is you still needed to be able to do adjustments, so then you're gonna have to plug something in. So I may just, like I said, I may just leave this, because a lot of times I need nose weight for this one. So this is a little extra weight to put in the nose, and like I said, I can go and do programming as needed and monitor starts. So that's the difference. That's the only difference between the light and the compact is the hub. And the light has the smart data terminal, which is why it costs a little bit more. You get a couple extra features, but you know, if you don't need those or care about them, then it's kind of whatever you want to go with. So here we go. All right, 777. But yeah, standard. Let me open it up here. There you go. 132 newtons and a 100 size motor. So people don't even realize, man, like this motor maybe 5-6 years ago, when you bought a 100 Newton motor, it was this size.
This was originally a 120, now it's a 132 in what used to be a 100 size motor and weight. So crazy, that's technology, it continues to grow. So bam. So I got 2 of these bad boys I'm putting in. I will have to rotate this a little bit because the RPM sensors, the motors, you know, you don't want the RPM sensor. So if this is the front of the motor, and say your other motor is over here, you want to position the RPM sensor in a way that it doesn't read, because the RPM sensor is on the ECU board, which is under here, and the RPM sensor points at the magnet, which is in the compressor nut. So it's reading that magnet for RPMs. So essentially it's reading this way or this way or this way. So you want that RPM sensor to basically be parallel to the other motor's RPM sensor. So your signals are not cross-reading and you get interference causing issues. I've seen people put some interference material in between them, but you really don't need to do that as long as you position the motors correctly. So, ooh, little corn. Anyways, there you go. So I gotta see, I can't remember if I had to trim these with the mounts that I had before, but I don't think I do. So if, I will look back at this picture. So I gotta add the little ply. So this is what essentially you're gonna have inside the model. So they provide carbon fiber stuff, and I'm gonna take a look at it. I made these, and they're angles. They have angles to them. So this will be the bottom. So it goes in like this. I even marked it left. So it goes in like that into a channel, and then the motor comes up, and then this one bolts on top. So it's like that, and then you run 2 screws in the top against a plate inside the tail of the fuselage. So this locks in, and then you can essentially do this with it. And then you push it against the bulkhead and put 2 screws in it, and that holds it. Because they can't go forward and aft on the bottom because of the channel. So that's what you're looking at. So they do have carbon fiber stuff, but like I said, a lot of their stuff's made for King Techs, but there are a bunch of different, I'll just show you, different things in the packet. What did I do with that? Yeah, so here's what they give you. Let me open this up here. Ooh, 13 minutes. Give you all these different mounts, man. So, you know, if this is supposed to work with any motor, I'll have to check it out. Makes me wonder if they have some kind of crazy thing. These actually have weird patterns cut in there, so I don't know if these are designed for certain motors or angles or what, but you've got essentially, these look like the same kind of pattern. Yep, same kind of pattern. Same kind of pattern. Yep, so these 4 are the same. Then you got these little guys that are the same. So I'm guessing, and these actually have an angle to them. So this makes me wonder if I can use these. Because see, I have it like this. This one has an angle to it. This one has an angle too. So it makes me wonder if I can use these. So we'll see. I'm going to try and do it with theirs, and just because they're carbon fiber, and you know. But I don't know what this is for. I don't know if this could be, you know, where you take your King Tech. They got those thick ones, and you set the King Tech bracket here, and then maybe put one on top of it. I don't know, man. They don't give you any instruction. Okay, so those holes line up for that. So I don't know. Who knows, man? Honestly, I don't know how you would do this, unless that's the bottom piece like this, and then you use this on top. But I don't know. I'll have to play with them, and they don't give you any instructions in this. But this is what you get in the kit right here. And I'm assuming it works perfect for a King Tech somehow, because that's, like I said, T1 King Tech. They're kind of partnered. That is it, man, or everyone. So that'll be kind of my next thing. I'm gonna put all this back in. And people, also something people don't think about necessarily is a lot of people will throw away their boxes. And I don't necessarily mean the motor boxes, because people are pretty good about keeping the motor box, but then they throw away the brown box that these come in, and then they, you know, you have to send it in for service and stuff like that. So they even started putting a decal on the actual boxes. Hey, don't throw this away, keep it for shipping. So keep your brown box that this is inside, so you can just ship them all back and that kind of stuff. So I actually had somebody send me a turboprop in a bag. It was in the box, but it was in a bag, like you would send something back. I mean, it worked, I guess. Wasn't damaged, but I just don't send it in the bag. So there you go. And with that, that's about it for the night, because I think I'm gonna go in and watch a movie and start on the motors tomorrow, because I need to sit here and take a look at those mounts and see if I can use the ones that come with it versus the ones I made. So I might just use the ones I made, because I know they were perfect and they were easy. So oh, well, yeah, speaking of Zykoys, so some of you may have noticed, but I'm having trouble getting motors from the factory again. Seems I'm not the priority. So I apologize to my customers waiting on motors, but it is not because of me. And this motor looks okay. It is not because of me. So, you know, they haven't been able to keep up with the demand since they started, and didn't really want to expand. They were forced to expand one time. They did, still couldn't meet demand, but lead times kind of got normal, you know, 4 to 6. I think the best I ever had, I was able to get like motors within 2 to 3 weeks. Holy crap, that's hard. But continue to grow in popularity, more people, you know, have come along, and demand is high, and you want to go and throw another dealer into the mix. Fine, whatever, you do you, but not really, you know, I'm already having to compete with other manufacturers. That's normal. But when you're having to compete against the factory and their personal friends, and now other dealers of the factory, when you're already selling to everybody under the sun, even your competitors, so it's almost impossible to make money on your product. So there's a fine line between being worth it and, you know, not taking any risk and putting all the risk on your dealers and everything. So I've kind of been contemplating throwing in the towel. on this Zycoy thing. And I'm sure Gaspar would love that, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Because like I said, you know, you're not going to give, you know, somebody that started your product here as far as turbines and has sold over 1,000 motors since 2019, August of 19. If that doesn't warrant, you know, a little bit of respect and being able to get exclusive rights, then I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to work with somebody like that. So, yeah, so we'll see. But anyways, tomorrow we're going in. Gonna get you some twin action. You guys have a good evening, and if you got any comments, leave them in the comment section. That's what I'm trying to get to, man. Trying to get people to talk, to post their thoughts and comments, and I can respond and interact. It's kind of it's more fun that way, just other than just making videos and me talking to myself, which I'll do because it helps people and people like it. But it would be cooler, or yeah, it'd be cool if people would respond so I can, you know, converse and talk about stuff in the videos. So let me know what you think about all that. I know business is business, but you know, he asked me personally to do this with him, so I said yes. Ignorance on my part was assuming. So anyways, I don't want to get going down that route, get all negative and poopy pants on a Saturday night. You guys have a good night, and I'm gonna go watch a movie. Cheers.